Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Throwback Thursday. This week we're discussing Season 4, Episode 8, titled Too Far Gone, which premiered originally on December 1st, 2013. And this would be the conclusion of the governor's story. It starts out with him talking to his community, his people, and telling them that they're not safe where they are right now, and that not too far away, the people that took over his former camp are held up in a prison. Some of the people there are good. He kidnapped 2 of their people, and he's going to use them so this way they can get into the prison and take over the prison, and that they would do it without force, without firing a single shot. They will take it over. Tara hears when he says he kidnapped 2 of them. She was like, what? And she can't believe it. And he's like, listen, some of the people there are murderers. Why do they get to live behind that place in safety? He says, look at us. We're good right now, but it's going to get overrun soon. Walkers will fall into the pit. They'll overflow it, and then they'll start being able to climb out, or people will come and get us. So we got to go. We can't really stay here because it's not that safe. Lily hears this, and she's not really happy with what she heard. She said, I told you we don't need to go anywhere, that we're fine here. And the governor tries to tell her, listen, it's not really that safe here. You saw basically what happened to your daughter the other day, and we need to find someplace that's safer. Then we see the governor goes into his trailer, and there's Michonne and Herschel, and they start talking, and Herschel said, or the governor says that, well, he says, don't call him governor. He doesn't like that anymore. But Herschel's like trying to convince him that, you know, to take the prison, but they could live together, kind of, like we could make this work out. You know, like you don't have to go over there. You have a family now, I assume, or you're trying to change. I could see you're not trying to be the same person. Like I have my family there. We're not. Rick has changed, right? Everything's not the same as it used to be. Like we could work this out. And Michonne's like, I'm going to kill you. And Herschel's like, shut up, or whatever. Or the governor just looks at her like, ugh, you know, and he says, like, we can't live together. Michonne will never allow me to live with you guys. Neither will Rick, because Herschel's trying to push this on him. And he goes, you have a daughter, right? You are a father, you know, like my daughters are there. Like, how can you, being a father, go and take something where you can hurt my daughters? And he's like, well, they're not my daughters. And he walks out. It's like cold as ice. But yeah, so then we go back to the prison. Sasha is somewhat healthy. And she's talking to Bob because Bob saved her life. And she's trying to tell him, like, thank you. And he's like, no, don't thank me, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, let me thank you. If it wasn't for you, you know, you and Herschel helped me. You saved my life. Yada, 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 yada. Also, we got to see earlier while the governor was talking to his group of people, like how he kidnapped Michonne and Herschel. So, okay. They were setting fires to bodies that, you know, we forgot. It was so long ago, 2 episodes ago. That's what they were outside of the fence for. We go back to where the governor is. They're about to leave. They're ready to head out. Some people are staying behind, although we only really see Lily and Megan, but there's 2 other people, but we don't know where the hell those went. It was an old guy and a little kid. They just disappeared. And the governor's talking to them. She's still not comfortable with what's going on, and whatever. The governor's just trying to tell her, like, look, everything's going to be all right. We're going to take this, and everything's going to be fine. He goes over and says goodbye to Megan. Megan's making a mud pie. She's at this little mound with the disgusting sand. She's like, I'm making, he goes, what are you making, pumpkin mud pies? And she's like, no, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And he starts laughing. He's like, can I get a hug? And she goes, but I'll get you all dirty. And he's like, oh, whatever. He hugs her. He's in love with this family that he has. He wants to protect them, but I don't think it's going to work out the way he wants. We go back to the prison to see Maggie and Glenn and their beautiful love story. And Glenn's like, oh, I need to take a vacation. He's still sick. He's healing from, you know, being sick. And she's happy that he's okay or whatever. We then see Rick and Daryl talking about what happened to Carol, that he had to let her go, and Daryl's really upset about this and saying, like, look, she said it, she admitted to it, she didn't care that she did it, she felt like it was the right thing to do, and I can't have that around my kids, around any of us. And then he goes, Daryl says, she may have said that, but that's not her, you know, that's not her. And then he goes, don't worry, she's going to survive. And he goes, stop saying it like that, like you don't believe it. And then they said, look, let's go tell Tyrese. You know, well, he also tells him, like, what do you want me to do? If Tyrese is here, how is this going to happen? Like, if she was here when Tyrese is here, I have to tell Tyrese that it was her. What would we do? And he's like, I'll take care of that. No, he wouldn't, because we saw what happened earlier. Tyrese was going crazy. They then find Tyrese in the tombs, and Tyrese tells them, look what he found. And it was like, these little girls, one of them is still fucking around looking for walkers as her pets. This girl's fucking ridiculous. I'm glad they're going to take care of her. Although something does cool happen later on in this episode. And Tyrese thinks that whoever's doing this is the person that's responsible for killing his girlfriend. And Rick's like, I don't think so. And he goes, how could you be sure? And then as he's about to tell them, boom, an explosion happens. The whole prison shakes. And Rick and them run outside and they see the tank and the governor and his people, and then he brings out Michonne and Herschel, and he's like, and Rick's like, I'm not the leader anymore. There's a council now, and he's like, well, you're going to be making the decisions today, Rick. And then basically we get what's going to happen soon. It doesn't happen right now because we cut back to Lily watching a walker crossing this river, because that's where the governor left her and Megan. He told them that it's a safe area because if walkers can't cross the lake. So she knew that walkers couldn't cross the lake, but she was still nervous. And also, this is the biggest problem that the governor has with all this. Like, he rushed everything because he had a transformation rapidly. Like, however knows how many long, it's been months, right? Months between he killed everybody at Woodbury, set Woodbury on fire, and then wandered the earth by himself with nobody, right? It was like maybe a few months. Then he meets Lily, Tara, and Megan and her family. Then from there, they go find this little camp. They've been in this camp maybe the most, let's say, a month. And in that time period, which I don't even think so, I would say it's like maybe two weeks that he's been there. Okay, 2 weeks. Within that 2 week period, he transformed back into the governor. But now he wants to rush and get his family in a safe place, take over the prison, get revenge at the same time. But he's with people that aren't prepared. He doesn't have the army he once had. Oh, yeah, that's also right. I forgot in the last episode, they talk about Schrumpert, the black guy. They said that he got bit or whatever, I believe. So that was another thing. That governor didn't want to be reminded of these things or these people or anything like that. But he was constantly being reminded of the person he used to be and the person he wants to be, and then how his tragic story turned him into the guy he has to become again in the last episode. But he does, like I said, he doesn't have the people. But anyway, Lily sees this walker trying to cross the lake, but she gets nervous. At the same time, Megan is playing with this sign. She scrapes and it says like flash flood alert or alert flash flooding or something like that. So she's sitting there and all of a sudden we see this face come out of the dirt that she's sitting on top of, and there's a worm coming out of the eye, and it's a walker that's been buried under there. It's specifically waited until right now, comes out and attacks Megan. Megan screams. Lily runs over, after this walker gets swept away by the current of the lake. And as she's about to get to her daughter, the walker bites her kid, and she kills the walker, whatever, but her daughter's been bit. And we're like, oh shit. We go back to the prison and we see the governor is there. He brought out, like I said, Michonne and Herschel. He shows them that he's got hostages and that they got to come out and make a decision. He gives him an ultimatum: get out peacefully, and we're gonna take this over. Rick's like, no, we have children here, and Rick's also says, like, we could live together, and Herschel gets excited hearing this. He says, we could live together, we could make it work out. And the governor's almost trying, right? Like, he's like, no, it's not going to work. He's still being calm. He takes out the katana. He holds it over to them because he doesn't think they believe that he's really going to do this, which nobody believes on his side. They didn't think that the governor was crazy like this except for Mitch. Mitch is there. He says, we want what you got, asshole, or whatever. And Rick's like, listen, we went to war with this guy before. His people, they live with us now. They're in here with us, But he says, we can make this work, please. We can make this work. We can't go out there with nothing. There could be 2 different cell blocks. We don't ever have to see each other. We can make this work. And like I said, Herschel's smiling. And the governor pulls the katana away. He starts believing, but then he looks at Rick. Now, if they had a little flash, like a quick flash of like Rick turning into Rick in military uniform, maybe, then that would have shown that what's going on in the governor's head. But they just have, from the governor's perspective, as he pulls the sword away, he looks at Rick, and then he goes, liar. There's some badass, and he just whacks and fucking chops Herschel's head almost in half. Herschel's bleeding all over. Maggie and Beth go crazy. Rick goes crazy, screams, starts shooting. Now we're in it. We're in it, baby. We're in a war, and this is the war of wars. All right. The last time was good too. This is the problem. I don't know what happened with this series. This is what Negan All Out War was supposed to be like this tenfold. It was not. It was corny. It was whack. It's like they didn't have any money. They spent all the money on the actors by that point, and they had no money for the show when the show was generating massive amounts of income, video games and all these things. But who was making all the money at that time? The producers are taking it and stealing it, I guess, because they weren't putting it into the production of later seasons. This was badass. The graphics weren't that great, but it was cool seeing the prison get destroyed. The tank rolls in and smashes through the gate, starts shooting at the prison, destroying the prison. Everyone's going crazy. Everybody's getting guns. Everybody's shooting. Going back and forth, we see Tyrese is fighting some people. He has to go run and hide. Oh, Tara is bugged out. She's like paralyzed. She can't believe what just happened, right? After the governor slices this guy's head, Herschel's head, and Michonne runs away. She starts trying to cut herself loose, right? The governor walks over to where Herschel is and finishes chopping his head off. And then all of a sudden he looks up and he sees Lily's there holding Megan's dead body. And the governor has no real reaction. He walks over, grabs Megan, and shoots her in the head. He also does say later on to somebody, I think to Herschel or Michonne, that now he realizes that his daughter was dead earlier in the episode. So he realizes this. So now, I don't know how this is such a drastic change, as you know, it's crazy. Anyway, this is fantastic. I can't go into every single specific explosion and counter. I will say there was a point where Alicia's trying to comfort Tara because Tara's just paralyzed. Mitch is like, get your weapon, grab your weapon and go. And she's like, she can't do anything. And Alicia's like, don't worry, you stay here, I'll find you, whatever. Alicia runs out, she's shooting and everything's going crazy. Daryl's like cornered by these guys shooting at him and Walker's coming behind them. Tyrese was shooting these people and Alicia comes up with the guns and starts shooting at Tyrese. Tyrese has to hide and duck behind like this brick. I don't know what it was. It was like I don't know what it was. He's hiding behind this little wall, tiny wall, and all of a sudden you hear gunshots, and Alicia looks, and what do you see is the two little girls holding guns. I was like, that was badass, and then bam, one of them, which we all know which one, I forgot her name, the one that's crazy, shot Alicia in the head, kills her. It was like, badass, bro. I was like, I cheered again. I probably cheered the first time I saw this. This was fantastic. He gets up, says, we gotta go, follow me. So Tyrese takes the girls. They originally had Judith with them, but whatever. Maggie runs back into the prison. She finds Glenn. She runs out with him. They're trying to get on the bus. She told Beth to get on the bus. When she gets on the bus with Glenn, Beth's not there. The bus takes off, which I don't know. I think they might have gotten out. I don't remember, but I don't think they're on the bus later on because I think the bus explodes and all those people died, all those kids and everybody. But we find out that Glenn and Maggie weren't on there, I think. I don't remember exactly what happened. Sorry, but I know they were looking for Beth and they didn't see her and they tried to get out, but they couldn't. The governor and Rick are face to face and they go into punches and the governor's beating the living hell out of Rick, beating him up so badly. Rick is done for, and all of a sudden, poof, the katana goes through his chest. Michonne was right. She said it from the beginning. I remember originally watching this and being upset that Michonne was the one that killed the governor. I thought it should have been Rick, but now rewatching the series and watching this, it's pretty perfect for Michonne to be the one to do it, because especially what happened with Andrea, and she was fighting. Though I will say again, Michonne was being too skeptical last season for no fucking reason whatsoever, because the governor really didn't give her any reason to. Just that everything that happened to Michonne prior, because we don't know, because she's such secretive what happened to her, how her life turned out. That's why she was questioning everything the governor was doing, you know. But at the time, I'm like, what the hell? What's her problem? Now, looking back on it, she's the right person to have killed the governor. She actually killed him, or at least put a gun, the sword through his chest. And he's just laying there, whatever. Rick gets up. Rick starts looking for Carl. I think Michonne picks him up, and Rick starts looking for Carl through all this craziness. Daryl gets to freaking have a crazy action scene where he uses a walker as a shield, throws a grenade, kills the people from the other community that are standing in front of the tank, walks over to the tank, throws a grenade inside the tank. The guy jumps out, the tank blows up, and then he freaking shoots an arrow through the guy's chest and kills Mitch right then and there. Fantastic. Rick is looking for Carl, and he starts to cry, and all of a sudden he sees Carl kill some walkers. He runs up to him. They grab each other. He's so happy that he's got his son. It's always Rick and Carl. That's why it was terrible that they killed Carl. It was stupid. They were doing it for money reasons, in my honest opinion. And maybe one day we'll find out the truth. Or probably already found out the truth. I think it's all because of money, because whoever the agent was probably holding the Walking Dead's balls in a grasp, because they knew that in the comics, Carl was a very important character. Anyway, nonetheless, they start looking for Judith, and they find Judith's basket all bloody and disgusting, and everybody felt bad. Then we see the governor still there on the floor holding his chest, and all of a sudden comes in Lily, and she holds a gun, she points at the governor, and she shoots him in the head and kills him. Then she wanders off. We see walkers coming in and going into the prison. I would assume she made it out. I was like, what happened to her character? We just forgot all about her. Like, they didn't mention anything about her. I think I looked it up online, and it says that Tara has a line that she saw her sister get surrounded by walkers, and then I'm like, what? Well, this is a cool character. Why didn't they bring her into one of the shows, Fear the Walking Dead, that she survived? You know, what the hell? They could have just said Tara thought she saw that. Whatever. Anyway, we end the episode with Rick and Carl leaving the prison, the destroyed prison, and all the debris everywhere. And everybody's scattered. They're all separated now, and we got to find out how they're going to reunite. Fantastic episode. One of the best of the entire series, I think, so far, in my opinion. Highly enjoyed it. Love it. I remember loving it, too, and thinking it was a badass, and then wondering what was going to happen. Anyway, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, leave in the comment section down below what you thought about this episode, if you really enjoyed it, what you disliked about it, and if they should have kept Lily alive. They did keep her alive. I don't understand. Did they ever use her again? Let me know in the comment section if they ever used her again. They just had Tara say something like she didn't know. Anyway, yeah, I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.